Reunion of the faded sun and the fragmented moon. So this is what it feels like, death, thought Kokushibo as he opened his eyes and saw that his surroundings were a grass field. Looking to his left, he could see that half of the grass field was covered in moonlight, with the moon hanging in the sky. To his right, he instinctively flinched away as he saw that side of the field being bathed in sunlight, with the sun also hanging in the sky. What is this? He thought, perplexed. Is this the afterlife? Looking around, he saw that he was not in the sunlight area and in the moonlight area instead. Looking around, he tried to find an exit to this place, but before he could, he heard footsteps. Soft, quiet footsteps, like those of an highly experienced demon slayer. Turning his head to look in the direction of the sound of these footsteps, he saw the being making them, and he wished he hadn't. You, Kushibo said with venom. For standing in the sunlight area was his younger twin brother Yoriichi, and the reason he became a demon, Yoriichi himself. Brother, Yoriichi said with longing, sadness evident in his tone of voice as he looked at his older twin with tears streaming down his face. It would be obvious to anyone that Yoriichi missed his older brother. It would be obvious to anyone that Yoriichi loved his older brother more than almost anything. But Kokushibo was not anyone. He didn't see that the reason Yoriichi was weeping was because of seeing him again after so long. He thought Yoriichi was weeping because of seeing his true form, a complete and utter monster. For he could tell he was still in the same form he was in when he died. So, you have come to finish me off. Then go on and do it already. Destroy my very soul, Kokushibo said as he bared himself to Yoriichi, waiting for the attack that he thought would inevitably come. No such attack happened, though, as Yoriichi just stood there, staring at Kokushibo with those eyes. Those damn eyes, the eyes that could see through all. Nothing could deceive his younger brother's eyes. Nothing. There was no hiding from them. These were the eyes that looked upon him now and wept. You won't destroy my soul? Then are you here to gloat? To say that you knew better? To say that you were right and that I was wrong? Well, tell me, Yoriichi. Kokushibo began calmly before screaming at Yoriichi. Silence was what met Kokushibo's words. A minute had passed with nothing being said. Just as it looked like Yoriichi would not speak, he spoke 5 simple words. I missed you, my brother. These 5 simple words. Just a simple statement, and yet these words brought tears to Kokushibo's eyes. Go away already, I hate you. Kokushibo responded with the tears still in his eyes as Yoriichi made the first move since the conversation first began and started walking towards his older brother. Kokushibo flinched as Yoriichi came closer. They were brothers, twins. They should have been closer than anything else in existence. Yet it was not to be. Perhaps in another lifetime, where Yoriichi was never born with the mark, or if Michikatsu was born with the mark too, then they would have been closer than anyone else. But this never happened, nor will it ever happen, for they are dead now. They cannot go back. They cannot fix their mistakes. They cannot do anything in the end. How ironic, the most powerful duo in all of history, the strongest demon slayer and strongest demon, cannot do anything, cannot save themselves. Stay back, mumbled Kokushibo as Yoriichi came closer. They both knew, deep down, that Kokushibo didn't mean it, though. Yoriichi met an obstacle, though, in his quest to go towards his older brother. He could not step out of the sunlight. Kokushibo, noticing this hesitantly, walked towards where Yoriichi stopped and found that he, too, could not walk out of the moonlight. They were trapped. Looking into the sky, Kokushibo saw that the full moon that once hung in the sky was now fragmented into multiple pieces. Looking into the sky, Yoriichi saw that the once brilliant sun had slowly faded until it was almost completely faded away. Looking into each other's eyes, the brothers knew this occurrence with the celestial bodies represented themselves. Tsugikuni Michikatsu, the fragmented moon. Tsugikuni Yoriichi, the faded sun, while the previous states of the celestial bodies reflected what everyone else believed about them. Kokushibo, the strongest demon, Upper Moon 1. Yoriichi, the strongest demon slayer, creator of sun breathing. Looking into his younger brother's eyes, Michikatsu saw many emotions swirling in those expressionless eyes of his. The one he took most notice of was the tiredness in those eyes. Looking into his older brother's eyes, Yoriichi saw many emotions colliding in those hate-filled eyes of his. The one emotion that stood out, though, was the weariness in those eyes. They could each tell that the other was tired. Tired of all the fighting they had to do in their lives. Tired of all the killing they had done. Tired of everything in life. They knew that the other just wanted to rest in peace. Michikatsu wanted to be with Yoriichi, while Yoriichi wanted to be with Michikatsu. Like the real sun and moon they knew, they could not be together. They could hug the other, feel the other's warmth. They could see and talk to each other, yet still separated. Haven't we suffered enough? Thought Michikatsu in rage at their current situation. Do I deserve this? Without a doubt. But Yoriichi? He doesn't deserve this to happen to him. Thinking this left Michikatsu in even more rage, as Yoriichi just looked on as Michikatsu silently raged against what was being done to them. Little did Michikatsu know that Yoriichi felt the same way he did. Haven't I given enough? Suffered enough? Now you wish to make me suffer more? To make my brother suffer more? Yoriichi thought in rage equal to that of his older brothers. While Yoriichi only ever once felt true rage, directed at Kibutsuji Muzan, it did not mean he couldn't feel it again. Now the Kamis had crossed a line few ever even dared to cross. They managed to anger both Tsugikuni twins, a feat never before achieved until now. They will pay, muttered Michikatsu, as Yoriichi nodded in agreement. They will, brother. We will make sure of it, he said as Michikatsu nodded before both walked away from the other. While both knew it would not be easy, they would do everything in their combined power to get revenge on the Kamis. They would have to be a patient, but they knew they could do it. Until then, though, they would enjoy the other's company as much as possible. For while this was a painful reunion and punishment for both, it was still a reunion between the twins of sun and moon.